What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, do we get into it? What are your fondest memories of 4th of July?
Wow. 4th of July was fun growing up. You know, when I was a little kid, we used to have Shea Stadium where the Mets played right next to where I grew up. Actually, the top of the building in my grandmother's building, we could see the stadium from the roof of the building. Mm-hmm. So 4th of July, we would either go up to the top of the building or we would park on one of the streets where you could see the stadium because it wasn't very far and just watch the fireworks from there. Yeah. You
and a bunch of your friends?
Yeah, me and my friends would go up there. There's a few times where I remember with my dad, we would park somewhere and watch the fireworks at Shea Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I'm thinking back and I'm like, because I don't remember too much of my childhood memory, but I do remember my dad having an old truck.
Yeah.
And we would get in the back of his truck and...
Would you go anywhere?
But I don't remember a specific moment though. You know, like I remember us doing something like that, but I'm like, is this real or is it not? Kind of deal, you know?
Why would it not? I mean, memory of fireworks?
I don't know, because sometimes there are things that you remember.
Think happened?
Yes, but you don't know for certain if it was a dream or is, you know what I'm saying? Or is it something that you actually did?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, there was in New York, there was like this little corner store. It was like a Chinese ran corner store. Mm-hmm. This family owned it, and they would sell fireworks. Like they were the illegal fireworks, like the good ones.
The good ones.
The good ones. And we would buy them, and then I remember I would buy like a crap ton of M80s. And there was like this little crack in the concrete in the sidewalk one time, and I just kept stuffing M80s down in there until I blew the whole freaking sidewalk apart.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And how old were you?
I don't know, probably like Joey's age.
Holy smokes. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, girls are too scared to do shit like that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Then we had
blow down the whole building.
We would have like the little black cats, the little ones that would pop and we'd throw them at each other.
Oh yeah.
Those are fun.
I like those.
I don't think we're talking about the same ones. You're talking about the little white ones that you throw, or you can squeeze them and pop them.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about the ones that you light. You light them and then throw them at somebody.
Yeah, see, that's not something I would do. I'd get my ass beat.
Oh man. So today we're gonna go watch the fireworks. We're gonna go to the Diamondbacks game and watch the fireworks with the kids.
Yeah, that should be pretty exciting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, when I think about us, and it's funny because I'll look at, like other younger parents, I feel like we are just so old.
Why? You said that yesterday.
I don't know, because it's like...
Look, lately you've been on this freaking vacation. Like, we got to get the hell out of here.
Well, you know why.
No.
You know why.
Well, what? Because we've had Corona and we've been in the house?
Yes.
Which we don't anymore.
Yes. Yay! Congratulations to us.
Congratulations to us.
We all tested negative yesterday. And now we're going to get into this. But
what's that?
How, when you have something, like it messes with your head. Like the way you think or the way you react. Like you were telling me, like, because I was the first one that had COVID. Yeah. Then it was Miguel. Then it was Joey. So we had to add 2 weeks.
Every time that somebody else.
Every time.
Yeah. And Audrey never tested positive.
Yep. She never tested positive.
But she was coughing the most out of everybody.
Right. But it's like, even though I know I had it and you still have it.
I don't have it.
I'm saying when we had it, babe.
Yeah.
Like it was hard to, I'm like, I knew you had some shit. So I was still like, don't be kissing me. Don't stick your tongue in my tongue or on my tongue.
Keep your tongue in your mouth.
Yep. And I don't want your COVID
cooties.
Cock. No.
No, I want none of that. Yeah.
I don't want your COVID penis.
Yeah.
touching me.
But
I don't need your COVID germs. But once that test came out negative, I was like, what's up? What's up, baby doll? What you got going on? COVID free?
So as soon as we were negative.
You know? Yes. But it just plays, or it just plays with your mind.
It does.
And Audrey and Joey, like, that was very hard because they are pretty affectionate with each other now. Like, they came back around. And Joey is very affectionate, and that poor baby.
Yeah.
He was in it.
Especially, well, I'm glad he wasn't the first.
Yes. Well, thanks.
Well, I'm just saying, because for him to be little,
that would be
for the
hard.
kids being little, and then you can't, nobody touching you, and that sucks.
It really is. It plays a huge role on.
So actually, I'm glad he got it last, because that way, by that time, I already had it. So it's like, well, I don't care,
Yeah. Yes.
Because you keep worrying about us getting it again. You keep bringing it up like we're gonna get it.
Well,
again.
you can get it again.
We're not getting the same strain again.
Oh.
And it's going through us. Like we all
that
have
wasn't
the same
a bad
thing.
strain though. I'll take that strain.
Oh man, yeah, for real.
Over the other strain.
So I had asked you. I don't remember what you said, but when so now that you had it, I've had it, Joey's had it, Audrey's most likely had it. But like you said, we were kind of like trying to stay away from each other, and it took us longer to all get it because you were like a week in, and then or like 4 or 5 days in, and then I got it. Or at least I tested positive. And then like 4 or 5 days later, Joey tests positive. So it just kept extending the date out. So would you rather just, you know what? Let's all put on a movie and cough in each other's mouths and let's get this shit over with? Or wait it out like we did? What would...
I don't know, because I don't know how they, like, we didn't know how we all would respond, how our body would respond, right? Some people... Yeah. Like you had very minimal symptoms.
Yeah.
And then me, I had I didn't really have much. I was tired. I was fatigued. I was wiped the hell out. But I didn't have coughing, shortness of breath. I didn't have any of that, thank God. So it's like you don't know how the other person would respond. So to answer that question, I don't know.
Well, now looking back at it.
Yeah, but you said there's different strains. Our body will respond differently to different strains. Maybe.
So you would still do it the same?
Yeah, because what if the kids get it very bad and I coughed in their mouth and I have to live with that? No, I don't know. Call me a chicken shit, whatever. But I'm just like, yeah. But I see what you're saying, you know, just if we all were to hug and contaminate each other and then it wouldn't take so long because the kids spent most of their summer out.
Freaking sucks. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
But so now that we're kind of getting back, like this is actually the first weekend where we can kind of get back to normal.
Yes.
Now that we can have people over again, we can go out to places again. So
and hang out and do all that good stuff.
We can start working out again, going to jiu-jitsu again. So that'll be good. But now that it's 4th of July, there was something, for those of you that have been listening over the past couple months, I had been like just really having a hard time with all the stuff that's happening in the world and all the made up stories that people, just shit that people make up, and then they expect everybody to follow along with all this stuff.
It's not what the shit that people make up. Miguel's been looking. It is, but our listeners are not.
And I'm about to give an example of the shit that people make up to prove my point.
Okay, go ahead.
So
because that's what I'm saying. I'm like, people are like, what? What do you mean?
When I was going through some of that stuff and I was looking up certain things, I ended up finding something it was actually like through an atheist thing, but it had to do with the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance and the American flag.
Okay.
And when I was just like, what the hell? Are you freaking kidding me? So if you guys don't know the story of the Pledge of Allegiance, look it up. Because people get into arguments and all this shit about how you're not patriotic, or like you put your hand over your heart and you fucking salute the flag. And if you're not, this is America. You need to get out. Right? If you don't like it, go back to your country.
Kind of like what happened with that football player. Wasn't there something?
Yeah, similar. And turns out that the Pledge of Allegiance was started by a guy named James Upham, and it was written by a guy named Francis Bellamy. They started this thing back in the 1800s so that they could sell flags because they had a flag business. And that back then they had this catalog that was kind of like Sears, Sears Roebuck way back in the day for all you old people out there that remember all that shit, right? Because they still had Sears when I was growing up, right? But it was a catalog like that they would sell stuff. And they put this company would sell flags, and they literally thought that if they could make it so that it was a thing for people to have flags, then their flags would sell. So they decided that they wanted to put flags in every school in the country. And then they decided, well, what are we going to do with this flag? Well, let's write something. That shit ended up...
They're thinking of tactics.
Exactly.
And things to do
to sell
where
more flags.
It can be in every classroom and
in every class, in every school. I mean, they had this vision of people saluting the flag. If you look up the Bellamy salute back in the day, look up the Bellamy salute, and you will find American kids in their schools doing salutes that look like this. Because that was the salute at first. And if you're not watching it on the podcast, it's almost exactly like the Nazi salute. And they ended up having to change it, and you put your hand over your heart. But the whole purpose of the whole thing was to sell more flags. If your school didn't have a flag, their company would sell you like tickets or coupons that you could sell for 10 cents a piece. And then you send it to them, and they'll send you a brand new flag for your school. And then it's like everybody has ownership of that flag. That's their flag for their school.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
That's how a lot of things started.
Babe, but this is the Pledge of Allegiance where people take that shit super serious.
Right.
It's not a game. It's not a joke. If you don't do it, you're not American. Well, little do you know that it was fucking made up by salespeople trying to make some money. Yeah. In case you didn't know that, look it up.
In case you didn't know. That could be a segment.
Isn't that crazy though?
In case you didn't know. We could do myths.
There's so many things that are like that people don't realize.
You could do little things.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. And I can get into some of my conspiracy
things
shit.
Things that you should know or things that you thought. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy though?
Like, well, that's getting into myths and stuff. Remember when my little sister was here? And we barbecued. And our kids jumped in the pool and went swimming right after they ate.
Yeah.
And my little sister and her husband are like, the kids are going to cramp up.
They're going to get cramps. Pretty soon they'll be floating around the pool.
Because that's what we were taught as well when we were children. Hey,
that's not true either.
Swimming.
Hey, swimming. Hey, we can't give out all of them in one episode.
But that's an example of things.
Is. Yeah, you could just eat and jump right in the pool. You'll be all right.
Yeah, that's just an example of another thing that we can throw out and things that we can look
Nana
up.
made that up. Right?
But I wonder where that came from.
I don't know. You know what? Maybe let's look it up. Let's see like the earliest origins of getting cramps before jumping in the, like if you jump in the pool after you ate, you'll get cramps.
Right.
Listen next week. We'll find out. We'll see what happens.
So
what's up,
we had a listener.
I hope we have a listener.
Hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah.
With a question, and it sounded like it was something personal. So I told her, why don't you call me?
Yeah.
And I gave her, the phone number, and we spoke for almost 2 hours. And
a listener / friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a great question and something to talk about on the podcast.
Let's do it.
So
we talked about it
the roles that women and men play
in a relationship.
And how society has a bit to play within those roles.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think society helps all the time.
So she just, told me, she's like, I've been watching your guys' podcast. And she's like, and I want what you guys have. you know? Yeah. And she's like, I know your husband's not a believer yet.
That's what everybody says.
But I want what you guys have.
That's what everybody says.
Because I know
everybody at church probably says
because
that.
Because I know
he's
her,
not a believer.
But everyone wants a Christian man, and you're not a Christian man, but you have Christian morals and values. You know?
Okay,
yeah. And so she started getting into it, and when I was listening to her, I was just thinking, I'm like, you know, let's get into it. Have you ever felt, since we've been together, married together, right?
Yeah.
We've had businesses together. You know, you've been laid off before. I've been laid off before. I
wasn't working when we met.
Right. Miguel found his sugar mama.
That's right.
And then I worked it.
And she worked me over.
I worked it. I showed him. I taught him. I trained him. And
she said, get out there and be somebody.
But have you ever felt the weight and pressure of being head of household, feeling the stresses of being a man? Do you understand what that question, like what it all entails?
Yeah.
And can you share with us?
You do feel it. I think, well, right now I'm kind of thinking about it, and I think it's different for different men at different times. And I think it depends too, because for some men, they just maybe don't get it. They don't get that feeling.
But what are we talking about? Can you explain?
So what I'm saying is, let's say you're single. Go do your thing. Now is your time. Whatever it is that your dream that you want to, that the crazy shit that you have in your head that you say you want to do, go do it. Because if you don't have a partner, you don't have children, you can afford to be broke right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nobody depending on you. Just do your thing.
Yeah, do you.
You know? Mm-hmm. And those are like my brother that was here a few weeks ago. You know, he doesn't have kids. I'm like, dude, focus. I mean, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you don't have that responsibility, get after it. Get busy. Mm-hmm. Go do those things if you want to. And if you don't, whatever. But I think it changes. You know, when you get married, because we were married before we had kids, right? Mm-hmm. And I think when you're married, even that, I think that's, if you're married and you don't have kids, that might be a pretty good place to be. Like if you develop a like not just, well, I guess if you're married, like you're serious, right? I mean, not just dating.
Hell yes.
I'm just saying,
for me, yes.
Well, I'm just
not
saying,
for
like,
everybody.
I'm just saying you're a couple that doesn't have kids,
mm-hmm.
but if you guys make that bond or that partnership, because that's kind of like how I see it now. I mean, I do. It is that way. But like, if you guys decide, like, hey, let's do this thing together, life, whatever. Like, you're good, I'm good, let's do it. If you have two adults and no kids, and you guys both are like, you want to do this thing together? Yeah, let's go. Then you're probably going to be you could do pretty well. You know, when you have two people, not as much responsibility. Once you have kids, that can start changing a little bit, because your focus ends up being not just what are we going to do, but now we have a future that we have to protect too. You know what I mean? We can't be reckless with our shit because we got little babies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can be hungry.
So there's more pressure. We can be hungry. As a man, I mean, the pressure starts right when you say, I do, I believe. Because then comes the house.
It does, but it's different when you have kids.
Right. Yes.
Because what I'm saying is, you're an adult, I'm an adult. If we make the decision that we're going to go after it and we may be hungry, we decided that.
But, okay.
But kids don't deserve to be hungry because I decide I want to chase my dreams now.
Right. But even if, though, having the responsibility of being a boy, of being a man, comes when you are born. The person who's raising you and society is building up this little boy. Yeah. Like, you can't, hey, there's no crying. Get up. Dust your knees off. Get up.
Well, I think part of that,
like raising a little boy.
I mean, part of that I think is Part of it is society. Part of it is natural. I mean, men are bigger. And I'm sure that when we...
But who gave you the role of, hey, you are the breadwinner? I'm taking it back. Like, how society and how we raise little boys to be tough and not to talk about their feelings, and that you got to do this. Like, you are the man.
I'm pretty sure that's nature, babe. That's nature. I mean, you look at humans, men, we're bigger. And if you have a wife and you have kids and something's coming after you guys, who's the one that's going to have to defend and protect? It's going to be the bigger one, the man, right? So I think even from the beginning, like, that's just that's in us. That's part of it. You know, you are the protector, and part of being the protector, and you know, that does come with it. You're also the hunter, right? That is the breadwinner. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's natural.
So women, what I want you to do is,
at least that's the way I think.
Tune into, imagine yourself being a man and the pressure that comes with. I'm trying to build it up so that, you know, because a lot of times as women, we don't see it, and we don't pay close attention to what you men had to go through. And I know us women right now, we go through a lot, and we'll get into that maybe in the next episode. But I think us women are not as in tune with what you men are going through in life, and we don't recognize it, and we don't see the pressure of what you guys are going through and what the world has put on your guys' shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Because there are, you know, families out there where the women stay at home, right? They're taking care of the family, which is a huge role to play as well, right? But in some families, that's the women's job, is to take care of the home, to take care of the children while you guys are out making the money. Yeah.
Well, you were asking, like, where does that come from? So I was kind of thinking, like, where is it that the man is the head of the household or whatever? And I was just kind of thinking, like, that's probably where it came from, like, from the very beginning. Right. Men are bigger, men are the protectors, men are the hunters.
Yes.
That's where the role comes from.
That's where the role.
Now we're not living in caves, and we're not in these societies anymore.
Right.
You know, we have cities and houses and all that stuff. So I think back in the day, like back in the 50s or even around that time, that was still like the majority of times, like, hey, the man is the breadwinner. But things started changing over time. And it doesn't have to be that way. And in a lot of places, it's not like that anymore, you know, where the women work and they have jobs. Right. But I think the problems or the stresses come because society has changed. And you have to be on the same page. Because if we never talked about what our roles are going to be, or because I mean, maybe we didn't like specifically talk about it, but we've always talked about, like, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. And that's how we're going to this is how we're going to get things done.
We have similar personalities, though, when it comes to getting shit done. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I've always worked. I've always taken care of myself. You know what?
I think, we talked about this on a very minor level in the beginning of our relationship. And I remember one time you told me something about, I don't know if it was taking out the trash or something like that. And you were like, go do something. That's a man's job. Oh,
yeah. We weren't talking. We were messing around.
Does that sound like you? That sounds just like, so I fucking put that shit in quotations. Sonia said that shit. I ain't doing that. That's a man's job. But
I did all that shit before you, though.
You did.
It's just now I have a man in my house. Now you got a man. Motherfucker, take out the trash.
And I'm like, hey, go throw in some laundry because that's a woman's job. Yeah, but
that's not how we are.
No, but the thing is that was like early in the relationship, and it may have been joking around.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was one of those things like, hey, be careful, you know, because if we want to start splitting shit up by man's job, woman's job, we could do that. And I think having that kind of a like joking around conversation, it does make you realize like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't split into man does this, woman, like, okay, fine. I'll go change the oil. I'll throw out the trash. This shit needs to be mopped up. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think for some people, when you don't have these conversations,
right,
that it's just like an expectation. Like we're fucking cave people still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that way. Like, at least for us, like we've always talked about, it's like, okay, in the beginning, yeah, joking around, whatever. But at a certain point, it's like, all right, well, we do have a lot of shit to do. How are we going to get this done?
Right. With us, okay, and we're getting way off where I'm trying to get us, but it's just different with us because I am not that, like, we both work, right? We both work in this house today.
Yeah.
And if the trash needs to be taken out, I'll take it out.
I don't like.
I mean, we have
like
kids.
You taking it out.
I know you don't. But we do have the kids, and the kids are older. But if I have to, I'm taking out the trash.
Yeah.
Like you cook. You know, when business is busy and I'm not home till late, you know, I'll take something out of the freezer to defrost, or sometimes it's like, oh, I forgot, and then we got to figure it out together. But we figure it out together.
I mean, we've talked about where you'll throw in the load of laundry and then I'll finish it up, or, you know, whatever.
You're better at folding, right? You know, there's just certain things like you rather fold and watch TV at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'll put the laundry in, but we work as a team. But what I'm saying is, she's saying, I want what you have.
Yes.
We're sharing what we have.
So the stresses can come if we're not on the same page. You know, like if you have expectations of me and we haven't talked about it, and the truth is, like, if you just start putting all kinds of shit on me and I'm thinking about all the shit that I have to get done, things aren't going to get done. Like, not everything is going to get done. So we need to talk together about what we have to get done and how we're going to get it done. Because if you just like, hey, that's a man's job, and you're just kind of thinking of your stuff and what, and not about like the stuff that I have going on, and the same goes with you, there's going to be all kinds of shit. And then we start resenting each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think sometimes it's like, well, you know, my job is to be here in the house and, you know, watch after the kids and clean up or whatever. Well, that's an agreement that you guys have to make together. And part of that also, depending on where you are in your relationship and where, like, your goals and stuff like that, you know, there's things that come along with that, like the spending and, you know, we got to be on the same page because it puts a lot of stress. Different personalities, the finances is a huge stress. Yes. You know, we've been pretty... You know, we've done great because we're always on the same page.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like we've gone through stuff. Don't listen to this and be like, man, their relationship sounds like they're on point. Like they work together as a team. I'm just thinking, like, I would lose my mind. Like if my mindset, my thought process is like, I'm trying to work a little bit to try and get some stuff paid off, to try and get ahead a little. Like I see that we've done some shit that was not good. Like, we got ourselves into some trouble. Now I know what we need to do. I'm just saying, like, if my thought process was like, fuck, we shouldn't have bought that car, or we racked up the credit cards or whatever. And my thought process is like, shit, maybe I can work a little overtime, or we could not go out to eat, or we could do this or do that and save a little money and pay that off. And then I get home from work, you went out to lunch, or you went shopping and bought some shit. Bought all kinds of crap. Yeah.
If we're not on the same, like, I would lose my mind, because if all I'm doing is trying to get ahead and you're not on the same page with me. Yes. And that's not just the finances. If we made an agreement that you're going to stay home and you're going to raise the kids while I work, which is not something that happens nowadays because we don't want to put them in daycare. And I go to work and I come home and the kids are fucking dirty and it's a disaster and they're just fucking doing whatever they want. That's also going to, it doesn't have to do with the money. That's not the agreement with that we made. Right. But I think part of, like, it has to be both people. Yes. Because I could see it the other way around too. Yes. Where the guy is also not motivated to do anything. It's like, I'm just going to get by. And it's tough. Like, if you have one person that does want better, they want that progress. And part of that, people talk a lot about wanting to be happy. And you give me shit sometimes, like you fucking make me try to smile, like you'll fucking push my face to make me smile. You're like,
because I'm always like, for most of the time I'm always smiling.
She's looking at me like he should be fucking smiling right now. She makes me smile. You know what I mean?
And he's like, leave me alone. Like, we're driving. Like, this just happened yesterday. Leave me alone. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? And you know what? After all that, I get a smile. Yeah, you did get a smile. I do.
But the thing is, a lot of people, like, they want to be happy. It's like, oh, I just want to be happy. You know what makes someone happy sometimes is being satisfied that what you're doing, like you're doing the right thing, that you're making some progress. Satisfaction can make you happy.
Yes.
You know, and when you guys are on the same page and you're focused and working together, you're going to get some of that. And that also can make you happy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But when you're going in the other direction, that can drive you crazy.
Yes. So I just being able to communicate about everything.
Yeah.
Just everything. And when you communicate, when you're talking to each other, you have to be very aware of what you're saying, how you're saying it, your demeanor. All of that plays a role, because you can get into some heated conversations, but it's so important to come from love and respect during these conversations.
Yeah.
But I was just, when she was talking to me about her situation, I can understand how you men get to a point where you're just cold and cut off and short with your significant other if you guys are not on the same page. Because us women, we don't step back and really try to, I can't say, okay, I'm going to just speak for myself. There were points in our lives where I didn't feel the pressure that you were feeling. We were going through a difficult time financially, and you shared with me a moment where you went to this real estate event.
Yeah. So I think what happened, I don't know if I had,
and we may have been in debt. Yeah, there was something going on.
We were definitely in debt at that time.
And we probably had the 3 kids, my sister's kids, when we took them in.
We got married when the economy crashed. We got married in 2008. Isn't that when everything went to shit?
Yeah.
But it's been great.
But we've done awesome. Okay, so focus. Stay focused.
I'm just saying. So I think it was around that time, like it was after maybe 2009 or 10. But we were not doing very well. I think I might have been laid off. We might have had our niece and nephews that were living with us,
and we had a new
we had a new baby, and I wasn't working.
I may have been pregnant with Joey, and that's why I wasn't working.
You might have been.
Like something happened. Yeah.
And I've always, I don't know, my whole life, like I've always just kind of, I want to do something for myself. Like I've never wanted to just be listening to fucking somebody tell me what to do for 40 years, for 40 hours every day. I've never wanted that.
Yeah.
I've always, like, I don't have a problem doing it, but I've always eventually wanted to do something else. And I think at that time we went to this real estate seminar.
I
went to, it was like a free thing.
And I want you to get into your feelings.
So, and at that time, I remember like getting an option. It was like an option of
opportunity.
It was like it's like creative financing to buy real estate and this and that. But I was like, this could be it. And now thinking back at it, I'm glad. Yeah. Like, that's not my thing. But you were going through. But I thought like this could be it. There was a lot of stress from not working, from having the kids, and
being a father, being a husband, being laid off, and knowing that shit is tight right now.
And that is where, like, what you talk about, the responsibility of being a man.
Yes.
Like you go to this, or not go to this thing, but you already have these feelings like, like, dude, you are the head of household, or you're the head of household in quotations. Like, yeah, maybe, like, look at you, you're not doing shit. But then you get, like, I got that
a sense of hope.
Fuck, there's something that maybe I could do that could change some of this stuff, that could help us out. And no, I got really emotional, and I was just like this could be it.
See, you know? and those are the us women that we need to be more sensitive to our significant others, because they weren't raised to share their feelings, especially Gen X. Okay, I'm talking to Gen X right now and the previous generations, because today our millennials are speaking more. They're more emotional. They'll speak what they're feeling. But you, Gen X, like, they just were not taught to share the emotions and what they're feeling, right? And when men are feeling sad or they're feeling depressed or anxious, they don't cry. What do men do? Roar.
These are the millennials sharing their emotions.
They get angry, right? Men don't cry. They will get angry. They'll get stressed. They'll run out the door, slam the door, go have a drink with a friend or whatever, you know, their escape is, you know? So I think that us women need to be more sensitive to our men and what they're going through and how they're feeling, especially if you are a stay-at-home mom, and your husband is out there working. You know, just be more sensitive to what they're feeling, how they're feeling. Because like you said, I can only imagine, you know, it's like you're trying to get ahead. And if you're not on the same page, like you said, you know, you come home and you see her nails done, her toes done. She's looking fly, but there's nothing to eat and the kids are dirty.
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and here you are busting your butt trying to get ahead, and then you look in the bank and all you have is $100 that's for gas for the rest of the week.
But it all starts with the communication.
Yes.
Because the thing is that if I go to work and I come home and I've been busting my ass all day, and I come home and I notice that you ended up going out to lunch that day, the kids are fucking dirty, you got your nails done, got your toes done, and I feel some sort of way about it.
Yeah.
But because we don't communicate, I still don't fucking say shit.
Nope.
And I go back to work the next day, and the next day it's something else. The day after that it's something else, and we don't talk about it. This relationship is going to be fucking doomed. You know what I mean?
Right.
If without the communication, I'm just going to develop more and more resentment towards you. Every day that I fucking go to work, I'm going to come back. And you don't want two people that are eventually just like, you know what? Fuck it. You're obviously fucking doing your thing. I'm going to go do my thing. And I'm going to go fucking spend whatever I want to spend. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And you do your thing. Yeah, we're married. Whatever.
But as he's speaking, you can hear the lack of respect. Like it's dwindling.
It's the
resentment that's taking the love, you know, and yeah, he's not going to, you know, give you the affection that you're looking for, because he doesn't feel filled. He doesn't feel heard.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel respected.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a huge disconnect. And that's where, like with finances, they say that, you know, the number one cause of divorce is finances.
I think, you know, you hear that all the time, but I think it's communication.
Because it is.
It's finances,
the lack of.
If you communicate about it, the finances will be okay too. As long as you guys talk about it and you can get on the same page, you'll be all right. But the biggest book that has helped us out, which we recommend all the time, is The 5 Love Languages, right? By Dr. Gary Chapman.
Yes.
And if you guys want to pick that up, you guys can pick it up on Amazon. You guys can go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you go there, you'll see all of our links to our social media. You can follow our YouTube channel there. You can watch it there, listen to it there, share it with the people that you know. You also see a tab that says support the show. If you're on the computer, if you're on your cell phone and you click the menu button, you'll see the support the show tab. When you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link, and you can purchase whatever you normally purchase on Amazon through that link, and it'll help out the show. We get a couple pennies, and you can find our merch on there, like our t-shirts that you see us wearing, phone cases, pop sockets. Just search Opposites Attract Podcast on there. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary and signing agency. So if you're in the process of purchasing, selling, or refinance your home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
And you can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustincUSA.com. If you've ever thought about starting a podcast, if you have a hobby that you are super into and you want to put it out there so other people can learn about what you do, and you want to start a podcast, you can use promo code OAP for Opposites Attract Podcast with Libsyn, which is who hosts our podcast and distributes it to everybody. iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts, they send it out. And if you use our promo code OAP, you'll get whatever month in you sign up in for free, and you'll get the next month for free just for trying out Libsyn.
For free.
Yep. Promo code OAP.
Facebook. I don't even know if you said anything about that, but we have been focusing on growing our Facebook group. And there, it's an opportunity for you guys to ask questions. Like, we really, really want to hear from you.
Or just interact with us.
Yeah, or comments, or maybe you have a situation or something that you would like to share with us. Maybe you heard an episode and you have a comment or a suggestion. We would love to hear from you guys. And that group page is exactly where you want to go to be heard. Also, you can give us a call if you hear an episode and you've been through something, or maybe there's something that you want to share with us. Or maybe we said something and we were wrong and you were like, hey, by the way, that is incorrect.
That guy's an idiot.
This is actually what happened, or how you can fix this, whatever it may be. Like, let us know. Our phone number is 480-912-5128.
And you can remain anonymous. You can send us a message. You can get a hold of us, however, because I'm sure you may not want to put all your business out in the group. But if you just get a hold of us, however, you can find us on Messenger, through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. However you can get us that message, get it to us and let us know that you want to remain anonymous, and we can talk about whatever it is on the show without letting everybody know who you are.
Yes.
So one thing that I did want to mention, though, is like how to help, like things that help a husband, I guess, when they are stressed out like that, because it is a thing. I don't think you really do hear guys talk about that stuff. And there was something that I always I would bring up to you every once in a while back in the day. We haven't talked about it in forever, but I remember, like, you would be saying something to me and I would get like frustrated or something, and I would like yell back at you or say something, and I'd be like, hey, who the fuck is comforting me? You remember me saying that? Like, nobody, like, who's comforting me? Like, a lot of times it's like the other way around. Like, oh, I need comfort. And, because that's how it is. It's like the person that's more emotional, like, they need that support because, and usually that's the female, right? It's like, well, it's okay, baby. Nothing, we're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. But a lot of times, and you do that, but a lot of times it's not the other way around. It's not that way for the husband, where they are dealing with these stresses,
right? And
nobody comes to them and be like, hey, I know it's tough right now, but we got it. We're going to do it together. Like, we'll figure it out. Guys don't hear that. Do you know what I mean? A lot of times. So I think that's, and not only just saying that, but saying it and then talking about what you're going to, like, get on the same, that's the opportunity to get on the same page and figure out how you're going to move forward and how you're going to deal with these situations. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. It has to do with being mindfulness. Mindfulness, like our listener was telling me, about their situation, and she is, she is a believer, and her husband were having a conversation.
I'll give you an example after this. Yeah.
And, he's working he's doing his thing, and she's telling him, like, God's got us, like, God will provide. And I totally understand that. And I get that. And I can understand how he's feeling on the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, God's going to provide. I'm working 80 hours, or 80 plus, and busting my butt, but I'm just giving an example, but our bank account is not reflecting all the hard work and time, that I have put into this job. And not only that, like, looking at your hour, it's like, am I going to die? Is this it? Is this all I have for me? Is this all life is working and working and working just to pay the bills, to have $100 in my bank account? Like, is this it? And when you get to that point, I can see where a man would like just totally flip.
Yeah.
Like, is this all? And start to question and maybe like that's where these midlife crises come from.
I think so. Like, what the fuck am I, like, what is the point of all this?
Right.
Like, I go to fucking work every day. Yeah.
But it's like, that's when you have to start and self-reflect. And this is men or women.
So this is the thing. So let's, I think that a place where this could probably come up quite a bit is probably right after paying bills.
Right.
Right after paying bills. Yeah. When you're done paying the bills and you realize, and I don't know, depending on who it is, but I'm just saying, like, let's say the husband's paying the bills, and when you get done, you realize I've got $49 to make it till 2 weeks from now for next paycheck, and I need to get gas somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And we got to eat. So, if I get done paying the bills and my head is in my hands, and you walk into the office and I'm telling you, like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, it seems like everything that we do, we just keep falling farther and farther behind. We have $49 for the next 2 weeks, and we haven't even bought groceries yet.
Right.
And when you start feeling all of that stress, that is your time to be like,
what can I do to help?
And the thing is that it's almost condescending. Like, if you're just like, it's going to be okay, don't worry about it.
Right, right.
That shit will drive me insane, because you can't just give me, it's going to be okay, don't worry about it. It's got to be, let's figure this out. We can do it together. Now is, what are we going to do? Like, start asking questions like, what have we spent money on? Well, the fucking last 2 weeks, we went out to eat at that place. We went out to this other place. Then we went to the movies. All right. Well, we need to be on the same page.
Right.
Let's not go out to eat at that place. Let's not go to the movies for a little while.
Yes.
How much are we in debt? How much do we need to save up?
Yep.
Like, that's and you know what? For me, seeing how much that gives me some hope that we can do it together. Mm-hmm. But when it's like, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. And then you walk out and go watch your shows.
Right.
That's when I start questioning, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
And let me tell you, listeners, we have done this maybe 3 or 4 times where we have made a decision that we were going to pay off debt. And we paid off all the credit cards.
What was that, 2014?
To only rack them up again.
Yeah.
Right? No, I don't think so.
No, I think that was the last time that we actually...
Was that the picture?
I think it was 2014.
Okay. So, excited, right? Debt-free. Woohoo! This is what the cost of lack of self-discipline costs you, by the way. And you can use this with weight, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in life, until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's when your life will change. When you get sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Because we paid off debt at least 3 to 4 times. We were debt free until the last time when we just got sick of it, right? Like, we just got sick of it, and we had tunnel vision. We paid off the debt. I'm talking about, I had a birthday and Miguel bought me a pair of scissors.
Yeah, I
right? Did. And those pair of scissors was because I was in we had a business called Baby
Cute baby hats.
And I was making tutu dresses, and we had another business that you guys never heard of that did pretty well. Yeah. But yeah, he bought me a pair of scissors, and we just put our heads down and went for it. And in 2014, was it 2014? Finally, when we were just sick and tired of racking up the debt and then paying the debt, racking debt, whatever.
2 days.
We made the decision.
2 days from today.
We made the decision that we were done. This was not going to happen again. And enough is enough. And Miguel, go ahead, when?
Yeah, June 6th.
June 6th, 2014, sent me a text message. And what did it say?
Becoming debt-free, exclamation point. And
for the last, this is it. That was the last time. And from that point on,
I sent you a selfie putting a check payment, in the mailbox for the last check that we owed.
Yep. And let me tell you how we did it. We should talk about this because I don't think we have enough time to get into it. But next episode, I think we should give you guys exactly what we did, the sacrifices that we made, and what we did together as a couple. We've been debt free since 2014.
Yeah.
But it took us falling and getting up. And then once we paid off debt, we're like, let's rack up assets. Yeah. What are some things that we could do to rack up assets so that we're not just staying debt free, but now we're getting ahead of the curve? And I think that with our next episode, we should talk to them and give them tips and tricks and stuff that we've been able to do, books that we've been listened to.
Look for the information. Look for the knowledge.
Because it's out there.
Yeah. But I think the communication is number one. Like that, we've talked about it so many times, and so many people say finances is what ruins most marriages, and that's the biggest. Communication has to be, because the finances and all that shit, like I said, you could be tens of thousands of dollars in debt, but if you communicate it correctly to your partner, if you guys have a good mindset, if you guys are both on the same page, then the finances, you might be in financial trouble, but that's not going to be a problem for your relationship.
Right.
The problem is when you don't communicate about the problems, and then you guys are trying to fix them, or one person's trying to fix them, the other one has no idea what's going on, and you're not on the same page, and that's when the problems come.
But remember, too, it all starts with the 5 love languages as well, finding out what it is, because I'm a talker. I love to communicate.
I know.
Right?
I know. Trust me.
But the other person may have an issue with communicating with you because you haven't given him any loving in months. So he's starving.
Well, hey, before we move on to that, I mean, to the next thing, yes, that is another thing that I think, we've talked about it, and just recently with the stress that we've had with
COVID.
Not COVID, the religion, the spirituality, like, a couple months ago, like I was having a hard time. I'm just like, I'm fucking sick of everybody's stories and all the shit that they make up, and everybody's trying to tell you something and make you think that it's their shit that's right. And I'm sick of listening to everybody's fucking ideas, and like in my own head, I'm going fucking nuts. But then at the same time, there's certain needs and things that, that we have, and it's like, hey, we haven't done anything in a little while. Let's, you want to go upstairs? But for a guy, sometimes, like,
oh, yes,
we're trying to be intimate and get into some shit, and I'm still thinking about, like, the fucking stress of this and the kids and the fucking finances. Like, man, I can't believe, fucking $49. The fuck am I going? How am I supposed to? You're thinking about all this shit when at the same time you're supposed to be trying to freaking get intimate.
Yeah, like your wife's wanting some, and you are so caught up in your head and the stresses of life that it's affecting your friend downstairs.
So just being fucking straight up, like a month ago, like we were going through those problems, and we were gonna have sex one day, and I was just like, yeah, not right now.
Now,
it's just not. I'm like, my fucking mind is going 1,000 miles a minute.
Now, let me share this with you.
Afterwards?
Hold on, though.
Is that what you were gonna? Are you gonna about to give me props?
Wait, this is so good, but we don't have enough time to get into this. Can you please write it down? Because this plays a huge role in a relationship, especially with someone like me who's very affectionate, right? I'm very affectionate. And here my husband is, the person that I have a good relationship with, because even though we were going through some difficult time in our marriage, we still have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if I wasn't personally developed, and what I mean by that is if I didn't know me at the time, like my triggers or what affects me, or if I wasn't happy with the person that I am today, that could have really caused some division in our relationship if I wasn't self-confident, if I wasn't secure with who I am. Because women, when their men if what's wrong with me? Am I too fat? Why are you not into me right now?
Oh, I fucking love how we're talking about how I'm dealing with all this stress, but as long as you are good up here, you'll be all right.
No, seriously.
You know what I'm saying? Like, babe. Yeah. Okay.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Because I'm
glad you're self-confident enough to not let my stresses and my boner not working affect you.
Well, because I'm saying most women would take that offensive. Yeah. Babe, there's relationships where the man, you know what I'm saying? Like the man is going through some serious shit and the woman hasn't had sex with her husband forever. And she's starting to think.
It is true. Yeah.
Because
it's them.
That's what I'm saying though, because women and men don't try to really figure out what's going on with you.
Yep. Sonja doesn't think that way anymore. She's like, this motherfucker's dick's broken.
No, I know I'm good.
She's like, I'm out.
Right? Where's my Hitachi? Peace out, dude. Peace out. God. Get your shit together.
When you figure that shit out, I'll be over here.
But what I'm saying is I'm giving them both sides. Yeah. But I'm not that way.
No, you're not.
You know that. No, but I knew that I knew the situation. I'm like,
babe, and then think about it.
Hold on. I'm thinking to myself, don't be selfish. It's not about you, by the way.
Yes.
It's not about you. Don't be selfish. We're going through some shit in our relationship right now. And he still hasn't gotten over it. So you just need to be there to support him and love him and not take it personal. It's not you.
He's obviously still working it out. But
we did work it out.
And you know what? That is right, because imagine just going, like, I'm fucking dealing with the stress of the finances.
Right.
The house is a mess. The kids aren't this and that. You want sex. And now I can't perform because of all this fucking shit.
Because his heads are not connected.
My heads aren't connected.
Your heads are not connected.
And but now that doesn't happen. You walk away. Now I have the stress of the finances.
What kids, is she thinking?
And now I couldn't have sex with my wife. Now that's going to be another problem that I have to fucking figure out. You know what I mean?
Right, because now she's thinking stuff. The lack of communication.
But when you, it's the mindfulness. It's understanding what's going on. It's like, all right, what's been going on lately? Yes. Because for us, it does seem like, it's, you just fucking get it hard. And that's the thing is that,
but it doesn't work that way.
The wind could blow and
it doesn't.
But it does sometimes. And and it's like, wait, you mean to tell me that the wind will blow and it'll get hard? But I'm standing here naked and it doesn't. And it's like, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Right. Like for you, it's easier. Like, let's go. But for me, no, it's not.
Like even if a woman, and that's what I was sharing with her, like, hey, even when we're not ready, dude, where's the lube? Right?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's being mindfulness. It's just
man, we got dirty
being connected. It's being connected to your partner and understanding what's going on. And let's switch this around, because I can hear women like, Sonja, are you really right now, giving it up for the men? What about us? It's the same thing with the women, though. Think about it. When you're working all day, right? And you come home and the house is clean and the kids are on point and everything's good, but your poor wife looks like she just had a crazy ass day.
I'll say something. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now you want to have sex with her, but she is just overwhelmed and over exhausted. And now you're talking shit here because you're thinking, what did you do? You stayed home all day. You know.
But not just the sex though. Like if I've been working all day and I'm busting my ass, like I've had a hard day at work and I come home and the house is clean. The kids are there. Hi, Dad. You got something for me to eat, and I'm hanging. And I think a lot of times people are like, or guys, because I've had that. Like I've had these thoughts, but I've also tried to be mindful and think about it. This fucking house didn't clean itself up. These kids, the sandwich didn't make itself. You know, so there's a lot of times when I would be well, what I'm saying is like there would be times when I would get up to go to work and you would be up and you would make me something to eat and you would pack my lunch and then
coffee.
When I would get home, the house was clean and all this stuff. And a lot of times I think guys would be like, oh man, I've been working all day. Fuck it, I'm done. Like I get home, drop everything. Let's turn on the
dirty
TV. Let's hang
in the
out.
living room.
And it's like
clothes thrown everywhere.
Like now's my time to take a break. And imagine if you've been working all day, you know, you gotta like as a guy, you gotta think about the other side. It's like I can't just come home. Like yes, I do deserve a break. I do need to take a break, but it's not like my wife's been home working all day too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if I show up like after, you know, a 9 hours, 10 hours of work and I just drop everything and I expect you to keep going.
That's not fair.
You know what? How about let's get to a point where we can both take a break?
Yes. And that's what I absolutely, and we need to talk more about our struggles so that people can understand where we are today and why we are the way we are today. Because sometimes they'll listen to the podcast like my girl and she's like, I want what you guys have. Yeah, but you have to be willing to go through the things that we've gone through in order to get to where we are. Like it's been a lot of work. It's been listening to podcasts. It's reading books. It's talking to couples that have been married for 25, 30, 50 years and finding out the gold, right? Yeah. Like what are some things that you can help us with? What are some tips? What are some, you know, and that we have always been open to getting better in every aspect of our life, except as you can see right now, our weight, but not, but we've always been open at becoming better. And not only that, but toning down the ego and the pride and really looking and peeling back the layers
trying
of
to
us.
Understand. Trying to understand what's happening.
Yes. Like, why are we overreacting? Why did this piss me off so much? You know, and why is my husband not connecting with me? Or why am I not connecting with him? Like, what is missing? Yeah. And it's really diving deep into that. There are so many things that we can talk about, you know, that can really help some couples out there that are watching this, because we have had some really tough moments in our relationship, in our marriage, that we've been able to overcome. And I think it's important for us to get into that and be as vulnerable and real as authentic that we possibly can be in order to help our listeners. Yeah.
No, I think we should, and we will. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you, like, is there anything that you see our relationship as, like, I don't know, like the structure of our relationship, our family, like the way you see us, and like anything else in the world? Like, is there something like it that you kind of relate it to our little tribe, or whatever you want to call our? Because I'm just saying it like for me, like I've talked to you about it. Like I have this thing about my team, and it's not specifically like a certain team, but when I'm part of a team,
yes,
that's my team.
Yes.
Like my jiu-jitsu team, my football team, I'll go to battle with you guys any day. Like, and I will give everything. You know what I mean?
Yep. And we talk about it though. We talk about a team. We talk to our kids like we are a team.
Yes. Yeah. And I think when I think about us and our family, I mean, obviously it's way more than a regular team.
Right.
You know, but I do see it that way. When it comes to whatever it is that we have to do, the issues that we have, we got to figure it out, because there is nothing that I won't do for my team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the work that has to get done, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who does what. It has to get it. Yes. The team needs it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I see it. You know, regardless, I want to get better for my team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to figure some of the shit that keeps us back for the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
no, that's
it's not. It's not like that's a woman's great. Job. This is a man's job. No. The kids do this, and mm-hmm. Even with the kids, like I've told Joey, like there's times when I do shit that he's supposed to do because I want to be with him.
Right.
Like it'll be a Saturday and he's got chores that he wants to get done. I'm like, dude, I want to play with you. So let's get your shit done, and then we can go hang out.
Yep.
And then when I need to do something, it's like, hey, can you help me do something?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to hang out with you.
Yep.
And he's like, okay, let's.
I just thought of something that we do, which is good, because we're talking about roles that women and men play, and it starts off as being a child. Like, what is your role as a little boy? Well, with Joey, like he takes out the trash.
Yeah.
But so does Audrey. Joey empties out the dishwasher. But so does Audrey.
That's his assigned kind of responsibility.
But do you see what I'm saying? It's not like, well, Audrey's a girl, so Audrey gets to do dishes. Joey's a boy, so he gets to. No, it's like, nope, we are a team.
But it's also.
And we need to engrave that more. Like, we do talk about it, but I think we need to mention it more. Like, we are a team, so that they can see it the way we see it as well.
Like you're saying, it's like his job to throw out the trash, but she does it too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just like, it is his job, but we do it.
Right.
We all do it.
Yeah, like if he's busy upstairs and she's downstairs with me and I'm like, hey, Adriana, can you take out the trash, please? I've never heard her say, well, when it comes to trash, that's Joey's job.
Yeah.
I haven't, with the dishwasher, with the dish, she did, but then we switched that up.
Yeah.
And now she's doing it. And so it's Joey's job. No.
And I think a good way to, I mean, at least for them on a parenting thing, but like there's times after dinner where I'm just like, I don't care who does what. All this shit better be cleaned up. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Whoever does it, you two need to figure it out and make it fair for both of you. Mm-hmm. So I'll be back, make sure it's all done. And we go off and do something else. But between the two of them, they got to figure out who's going to do what, and hopefully they make it fair for each other.
Yes.
So anyway.
So not to get on a new subject, but it's our baby girl's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
She's going to be 12.
That's it. After
12
she'll
years old.
Oh, man. She's gotten so big. Makes me sad. Makes me sad seeing
I
how
love.
big she is.
I know. But again, it's because we do go back and we'll look at pictures and all that good stuff and and go through memories with them. And it's great to see how big they've gotten, but it's sad as well. And it's learning to love them where they are, like loving and appreciating the 12-year-old Audrey, and watching her and how much she's grown and the young lady that she's turned into.
Yeah.
So different.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Are we good?
We're good?
Are we?
Yeah.
Because there's something else, but we can talk about it the next episode.
You can, if you want to share it real quick before we get out of here, we can do that.
So I was looking for the picture, the debt-free picture that you sent me.
Yes.
And I was looking through our old text messages. And it was just so cool. And it made my heart so happy. Because we've always. So we have what? I was able to read text messages from 2017.
Yeah. We got to go back to some of the older ones.
And we are really in love with each other. You know, like
even in private?
Even in private. There was a time where I had my 2 car accidents.
I was trying to find it.
And we've been debt free. Like we've been debt free since 2014. We moved into this house in 2017. And I was going through a very talking about being mindfulness.
Do you have a picture of it?
I did not. I was not the mindful person I am today. Like I was just so busy, right? One appointment to another, networking. I mean, I was chasing success like no other.
What had happened was we had bought this car, this Infiniti, and I had messed up, or we had some trouble with the car, and the engine was shot. So we had to get the engine replaced. Mm-hmm. And you really like this car, so we decided to get the engine replaced, which was like, I don't know if it was like $3,700 or something like that. It wasn't cheap. Like it was a few thousand to get the engine replaced. And I think it was like less than a month after getting the engine replaced, you wrecked the car and totaled it. Yeah. So that was pretty frustrating. But you turned out to be okay. You weren't hurt. The kids weren't in the car, so it was okay.
And remember, we're debt free. We've been saving up some cash at this point. Yeah,
we had been saving up some cash, and we had just dropped like $4,000 on the engine. And we took the money from the car, from the insurance or whatever, and we put that towards buying another car. Mm-hmm. And we got a deal. We did very good. We bought another car, and less than a month, I mean like 3 weeks. It
was 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks? Mm-hmm. 2 weeks after we had just replaced the Infiniti, you wrecked that car. And at that point, now
it was totaled, you guys.
It was totaled. So we had to replace that car also. And now we're thinking about like, what are we going to do? How are we going to replace this car? And we had worked so hard to like get to where we were savings. At. Mm-hmm. And we were using our savings and, money that we had to buy to replace the car or whatever. And, these are text messages from that time.
So this was after the second car accident. And you guys, I felt your pain. Like not your pain, but I'm like, I have to call my husband. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I'm letting them in my head.
It's just one of those things, like after years of fucking scrapping and trying to get ahead and actually like finally having a little bit of money saved, and bam, we got to replace the engine. Bam, you wrecked that car. Bam, you wrecked the next car. And it's just like it's like, can't we catch a fucking break?
Right. It's one thing. I know you listeners, one thing after another, after another, after another. That's how it seems it works, right?
My attitude probably comes out in this text
Miguel,
message.
This is Miguel's message. He's like, I was frustrated at the situation that we are in because of all the work we have done and the things we have sacrificed to get to the point where we are at. It's always fucking something. But I don't give a shit. This is all Miguel, you guys. But I don't give a shit what happens or what tries to get in the way of our progress. We are going to kick the shit out of this situation. I don't care what we have to do. Like I tell Audrey, every time she is getting ready to roll at jiu-jitsu, it's time to scrap. I love you. So that's Miguel's like love motivation.
I was ready to fucking fight.
But I'm like, this is just so cool that, that we've always had each other's back, like no matter what. And then we were going through something else and, and we're texting back and forth. And this is Miguel. Jocko said, whenever you are not on the path you are on, a slippery slope.
When you're not on the path,
you are on a slippery slope.
Yep.
And we were just going back and forth and I'm like, so true. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. I love you too, baby. And then here's one that I wrote you, and I don't know if there was something, I must have been going through something and I must have been rude or said something that in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And I text Miguel and I'm like, the tongue has the power of life and death. Every word we speak is a seed. We are constantly planting those seeds that will in turn produce a harvest in the future. When we speak words of life and blessings, we will see life and blessings in the future. When we speak words of defeat and failure, those seeds produce defeat and failure. It's that simple. The life we are living today is the harvest from the seeds we've planted in our past, and today we are planting seeds for our future. The good news is that no matter where we are today, we have the power to change our future. I love you, and I'm sorry for all the negative seeds I have planted within you. I want us to be happy. You are my husband, and you deserve the best. I will focus on becoming the loving wife you married because I truly care about us. I take full responsibility. So there must have been a disagreement or something that we had. Yeah. But I'm reading through all our messages, and I swear to you guys, I'm not kidding. Like, it's all joking around. Like, one time you asked me to send you a picture. Like, hey, babe, that's great, but can you send me a pic?
Yeah, you probably sent me some shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see that. I want to see something else.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that is good. Like, these talks that we have with you guys on the show, like, we have these talks in private too.
Right.
You know, like, it's not just on the show. We talk about everything. But I think that's a good attitude to have towards anything that you care about. And this relationship, our business, our finances, whatever it is, there's, sometimes you do have to be in your emotions and feel it or whatever. But if you really care about it, you can't
do something about it.
Just fucking stay in those feelings and those emotions and cry. Figure it out and get to work. Because that was like that text message that I had sent you. I mean, you say it in a different way, like, you're going to get what you deserve this, and I'm going to do my part and do my best. Mine's probably a little bit more aggressive, but it's the same thing. It's just the difference between us. But that's what makes us
work, though, right? Because I need that.
But we both have to have that, right? We have it in our own ways, but you both have to have that fight for the things that are important.
Mm-hmm. And when one of us is weak, right? When one of us is really feeling something, it's the other person's job.
Doesn't matter if it's the husband or the wife, or whose role is what.
Right.
When your teammate needs a hand, you help them out.
That's right. And it's better to love than to be right. You know what I mean? Like, it's better to, I'd rather have you than be right.
Yeah. And with that,
thank you guys for all your love and your support. Thank you so much. Make sure you share, comment, subscribe.
Go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with those that you know. If you guys want to send us a message or give us a call, it's 480-912-5128.
And don't forget, be a part of this community. Yes. Go on to Facebook. Look for Opposites Attract Pod.
We're on Clubhouse now. You guys can find us on there talking about whatever we talk about.
Well, I didn't even mention that yet because we haven't started a room yet. But we are going to start a room as well.
Opposite Pod on Clubhouse everywhere.
Yes. So thank you so much for listening to Opposites Attract Podcast,
where we get better
together.
Bye.